11 o'clock, and time for us to come together and prepare for today's service. Good morning again. I'm Ann Leach, and Reverend Gordon is here to share with us and to bring us our meditation and message today. And did you want to say something, Gordon, before we got started? Get started? We haven't got started.
Good morning. Something there, I said it. Good to see you all this morning.
Yeah. We are focusing on the equinox. Wonderful. I love that. Love that image on the screen as well.
Yeah, I found that's one of my favorites.
Lovely. And we always like to check in with social media. So if you would tweet this out, post it on your Facebook account, Instagram, etc. I welcome the season at Unity of Joplin. I welcome the season at Unity of Joplin. I don't know about you, but I kind of resist the season sometimes. I really love summer, but fall is a beautiful time as well, and it officially starts on Tuesday. So I welcome the season. And we'll start in this morning with our gathering song, God is Good and All is Well.
What a wonderful morning, beyond compare. I feel God's loving presence everywhere, and I am filled with joy profound in a world where many miracles abound. In the garden of my soul, I am happy, healed, and whole. I know that God is good and all is well. In the garden of my soul, I am happy, healed, and whole. I know that God is good and all is well. What wonderful mornings, beyond compare. I feel God's loving presence everywhere, and I am filled with joy profound in a world where many miracles abound. In the garden of my soul, I am happy, healed, and whole. I know that God is good and all is well. In the garden of my soul, I am happy, healed, and whole. I know that God is good and all is well. All is well. All is well. All is well.
Ann, you're muted. Oh, good. Navigating Zoom is so much fun, isn't it?
It is fun. I thought I clicked my button. Anyway, that was a fun song. And I was just saying, I don't know about you Facebook viewers, but here on Zoom, we were kind of jamming out to that. It was fun. We've got the tune in our hearts and our feet, all through us. And I hope that you are beginning to recognize the voices, right? We have John and Gary as vocalists, and Jerry is our keyboard maestro, I guess we could say. I don't know all the music terms, they do. And we're just so grateful that week after week they bring the music to us and that Michael's there to help out. We appreciate you coordinating the sound and all the tech stuff that you do. So Thank you, music team. Thank you, Jefferson Myers. Jefferson Myers, the president of the Board of Trustees, who is serving as our trustee of the day. He's there in the Facebook chat. Say good morning to Jefferson. And if you have any questions, concerns about Unity, anything you need to know, Jefferson's going to help you out this morning. All right. I'm Ann. I am the angel of ceremonies, just kind of helping Gordon keep it together, although, hello, he's helping me keep it together today. But we're a good team and we're happy to be here for you. So thank you, Gordon, for your meditation and service this morning. And it is sounding
Actually,
like
Ann,
yes.
we have a special treat this morning. It is because it's 2 days away from the fall equinox. Our Earth Care team, Novella, she's not the only one on the Earth Care team, but she will be doing the meditation today to represent the Earth Care team.
Okay. I meant to mention that. And I also wanted to acknowledge the Earth team's little project that we did about the recycled art. We had some fun with that. So yes, this will be a very special day in that regard. I was just going to say, it sounds like maybe one of our Zoom viewers needs to mute your microphone, please double check that. And our role here, we express our gratitude in advance for what we are about to receive. We do that with our tithes and love offerings. We'll be officially blessing those later in the service, but if you'd like to get a head start, you can go to the Unity of Joplin website, unityofjoplin.org, click on that donate button and safely and securely share your gift for this week. All right, our announcements. You know, you can always check the Facebook page. You can check the calendar on the website for what's coming up, but here are just a few highlights for this week. We are still continuing the evening check-in and inspiration with Gordon, 8 p.m. on Facebook, the Unity of Joplin page. That happens every night except Sunday and except Wednesday, when we have the Wednesday night word with the Myers family. 8 o'clock, again, on the Facebook page. If you miss these nuggets of inspiration, you can always hit the replay. I've gone back and listened to several, and it just kind of gives you that boost that you need to get through the rest of the week. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you. And yes, coming up. Okay, listen up, grab a pen if you need to take notes to jog your memory. But our annual meeting is happening next Sunday. The first thing you need to know, our service time is changed to the afternoon. You get to sleep in next week, okay? But we want you joining us at 4 p.m. for the service. We'll still be doing that here on Facebook page and Zoom for those of you who can't be with us in person, but we're hoping that many of you can be with us in person. And here's what you need to know. We're going to be outside, socially distanced. In fact, we would like the whole event to be as contactless as possible for your safety, everybody's safety, right? So Gordon would like us to wear a mask. Jot that down. We want you to bring your own chair, camping chair, you know, folding chair, whatever. We want you to bring, if you need it, a personal snack. We'll have some water here, but, you know, personal snack, something to drink to sustain you, because immediately following the service will be our annual meeting. So we won't be taking much of a break there, but if you need something to munch on, bring it for yourself and your family. We will not be having, you know, major potluck or anything, just given the times. So I would love to open up my whole home to you, but until we get through this COVID stuff, this is the best we can do right now. Also, I was out working in the yard yesterday to prepare for you. The mosquitoes are nuts, so I think Michael's going to help spray the yard. But if you want to do something for yourself to protect yourself, I advise it. They're huge this year. But we're going to have a lot of fun. It'll just be good to see you in person. So we look forward to it. Chaplain training is coming up October 9th through 11th. We do ask that you make a commitment to Gordon via email so that the chaplain team knows how many people will be there. If this touches your heart at all to support and care for our members and those that call on us for prayer, please consider officially becoming a prayer chaplain. I know we all pray all the time for the good of others, but this is a nice way to really serve your congregation. All right. And yeah, Mary Morrissey's Dream Builder. Oh my gosh, she's already started in with emails to those of us who have signed up. It is going to be an amazing event. And if you are ready to dream bigger than you have ever dreamt before, I noticed one of the testimonials, the girl said, I realize I've been dreaming at about 75%. This event has helped me go over 100%. So dream it, claim it, and Mary's going to help us October 23rd through 25th. Ah, goodness, that's a lot. We always have a lot going on, you guys. And if you'd like to talk about it, hang out with us a little bit after the service for some virtual fellowship. Gordon will stay on as long as you do and have questions. Anything that you hear about today's service that you'd like more information on, he will do it. He will share it with you. So stick around, have a cup of coffee with us. And now let's go ahead and prepare for our service with the reading of the daily word. And Michael is here to share it with us.
All right, today's daily word is gifts of autumn. In this autumn season, I reap an abundant harvest of God's blessings. In some parts of the world, autumn brings welcome changes. The air turns from hot and muggy to crisp and clear. Lush green leaves take on a surprising brilliance in a dazzling array of colors before they are gently released to nourish the still warm earth below. Autumn represents a time to express my ingenuity and talents, to reap an abundant harvest from my previous efforts, to prepare for a time of celebrating God's blessings. Soon, this season will be followed by one of rest, introspection, and re-energizing for a time of new growth. A season of autumn may appear in the progression of my spiritual growth or in the process of a long-term project. Whenever I experience an autumn season, I give thanks for its rich lessons, gifts from God to me. He has made everything suitable for its time. Ecclesiastes 3:11.
Thank you. Yes, everything in its time. We have another gathering song, congregational song, Sacred Silence. Following that, we'll welcome Novella with our meditation, and then a special event, and then our lesson from Gordon. So relax, open your minds and hearts, and let's get ready for our time together in sacred silence.
Sacred praying for me. Friends and angels, all in heaven, come and be with me. Sacred silence, holy ocean, gentle water washing over me. Help me listen, Holy Spirit, come and speak to me. Come and be with me. Come and speak to me.
So, as we prepare for meditation, let us get comfortable in our seats, move around if needed, and shake off any stagnant energy. Then, become aware of your breath and take a few slow, cleansing breaths, becoming aware with each cleansing breath a greater sense of peace and centeredness. And let us consider, as we approach the fall equinox, balance. May this meditation become the meditation of your heart. Our days have been getting shorter, and all through summer. And this Tuesday, September 22nd, we will have reached the time when our days and nights are balanced. I look at my own life and consider how balanced my life is overall. And I look at specific areas of my life. Am I balanced in my health? Do I get too much sleep or not enough? Do I wake refreshed? Do I eat a balanced diet? Am I financially balanced? Do I spend all my money on myself or me and my loved ones? Do I share my financial resources where I am spiritually fed? Do I share my financial resources with other people who are in need? How balanced are my interpersonal relationships with family, friends, coworkers? Do I strike a balance between voicing my opinions and listening with respect and compassion to the opinions of others? Do I have a balance between focusing on my own needs and the needs of those groups in my life, my family, my spiritual community, society? Am I balanced in my relationship with nature, caring for its needs while I meet my own? Do I value nature and spend time in it? I realize that as I do, I receive back from nature. I watch flowers and tomato plants die, and the leaves of trees and bushes change colors and drop off in response to the shorter days and cooler temperatures. My own response to the increased darkness is to take the opportunity to face my own darkness, those impulses that I want to deny are mine. I look back at nature for inspiration, aware that the increasing darkness will, in its season, become increasingly light with the winter solstice. I consider that even as the light increases, so much of nature appears dying and dead. But it is illusion. As I face those things in my own life that appear dying and dead and ugly, I have the opportunity to transmute them into valued parts of my new life. And I consider what I want that new, more balanced life to be. Let us enter into the silence. And now, as I prepare to return to this now moment, I create a space to bring back with me any insights I may have had as I become more aware of the world around me.
I declare my covenant with God to walk upon the earth for the greatest good, for the greatest good, the greatest good of all creation. I am connected to all that is, and I will share in the care of creation, to faithfully renew the reverence for life and respect for all existence. I declare my covenant with God to walk upon the earth for the greatest good, for the greatest good, the greatest good of all creation. And I will honor my spirit's commitment to care, support, and defend the balance between my own life and all of nature as my friend. I declare my covenant with God to walk upon the earth for the greatest good, for the greatest good, the greatest good of all creation. I'll be a witness to acts of kindness, discarding thoughts that are harmful and careless, to live in harmony in a world that's secure. We are guardians for our future. I declare my covenant with God to walk upon the earth for the greatest good,
Oh, thank you, guys. That's the first time I've actually heard that song. I was aware of it, but I've never heard it. What a beautiful song and what a great job. Thank you. We are celebrating the autumnal equinox here in the Northern Hemisphere. And it's that time when we shift, we make a change from the hustle and bustle and the work of summer to gathering in the crops to preparing for the winter. It's a very outward activity, but it also invites us to turn within. We're not quite into fall yet, but the signs are starting to appear. For me, the signs of fall have always been when the heat of summer begins to abate, when from where I'm from, where's the smell of pinon smoke in the morning from all the fireplaces and roasting green chilies. Here in Missouri, of course, we have the flocks of geese flying overhead, and usually we have festivals this time of year, not so much this year, but it is a time of change. It is a time when we begin to notice the colors changing, and our senses are telling us that summer is coming to an end and that winter is not far off. But what is it spiritually? What does it remind us of? Well, first we take a look at the word equinox, and the word equinox meant in Latin equal night, referring of course to the balance of daylight to darkness at this moment. It only happens one other time, and that of course is at the spring equinox. Historically, it is a time to gather in the harvest. Metaphysically, it invites us to be the harvest of things that are planted in our garden, in our spiritual garden. The harvest of the efforts and the intentions of our life path that we said earlier in our year, earlier in our lives. It is a time to give thanks. In ancient times, of course, it was a time to give offerings to the gods, and nowadays Thanksgiving, to be grateful that we have the sustenance, that we have the supply to see us through the winter. In modern times, it is a time that invites us to be grateful for our prosperity, for the lessons learned in our spiritual growth, and for the lessons that are awaiting us in the times ahead. It represents key points in the cycle of life and nature. And for ancient peoples in particular, who were more closely connected to the earth than we tend to be in modern times, it was a time that invited us to perceive the deeper messages that life holds for us, to understand the meaning of the four focal points of the year: the winter solstice, the winter solstice, the spring equinox, the summer solstice, and the fall equinox. They illuminate various points in our spiritual journey, in that spiritual cycle that we take within ourselves. So by linking our awareness to these outer changes in nature, we gain an understanding of our own cycles of physical change, our own cycles of spiritual change, and the opportunity to deepen our understanding of these cycles. If we look at these cycles through the lens of history and metaphysics, we see the fall equinox as a time to honor all that we have in our lives. That's that attitude of gratitude, the thanksgiving. Think about it historically for just a moment. If you were a person in ancient times, you would have greeted the spring a little differently than we think of it. For by spring, supplies of food had dwindled. After a hard winter, may have been almost non-existent. And spring equinox represented that time of, okay, let's get busy, let's plant, let's go out and hunt for whatever food we can glean that has made it over the winter. It's been hard, we're hungry, we're starving, we're ready to go, we're ready to reproduce, we're ready to plant. And so spring represents a time of great activity, of hope. But what about fall? Well, fall, if we've done our work properly, We are content. We are satisfied. The silos are full. The barns are full. We are prosperous. And thus fall was a time to honor all that we have, to give thanks for what we have, and to shift our consciousness from a time of lack to a time of work to a time of gratitude. You know, I was speaking with somebody just the other day about this time of being grateful for what we have, and they said, well, I don't know that we really have all that much to be grateful this year. I can understand that. I really can. We can't do what we've always done at this time of year. The stores have a lot of empty shelves even now. We won't be going to visit family and friends like we do for the holidays. We're looking at our culture and we're seeing racial strife and the protests and the struggles. We're seeing people losing their jobs, and the list goes on and on and on. And so I can understand that idea that that wondering, what do we have to really be grateful for? Well, think about it. This isn't the first time in human history we have gone through a pandemic. This isn't the first time where we have been unable to travel. In fact, in ancient times, you know, if you had traveled far away, migrated somewhere, immigrated somewhere, you wouldn't ever be going back to see your families. But now we live in a time where, yes, we're not going to necessarily be together physically, but we have the miracles of modern technology where we are together, virtually at least. You know, when I was a kid, we moved across country far from, well, it seemed like across country at the time. We moved from Illinois to New Jersey. And for the first time, you know, I was far away from my grandparents. And now, unlike back then, I can pick up my phone and connect with my grandson and my daughter and my family anytime I want. And yes, it's not quite the same, but it's far better than the occasional letter we had when I was a kid, or maybe the once every couple years visit. So how blessed are we? We can be grateful for that. And we can still do many of the things we normally do, just in a different way. We can still watch movies through the miracles of YouTube and Netflix and, you know, Prime and all those things we have available to us now. We can still go out and dine. Yeah, we may have to do it outdoors, or we may get it and bring it home. We can still go out in nature. That's always available. We can still buy food. We don't have only the limited resources of the immediate area. And yes, there are people who have lost jobs and are struggling financially, but most of our social safety nets are still in place. Hopefully that will continue. And yes, there is racial strife, but part of that is because so many people are waking up and saying, wow, we still have work to do. So I am grateful for all of these things that we have available in this time. And I'm grateful for my family, for Novella, for my dogs, for my family that I can connect with electronically. I am, you know, just the other day, I had a long conversation with our music director, our music coordinator, John, who, you know, that's one of the things I am grateful for is our music team. Those guys have hung in there for 6 months. Think about what they do. 6 months they have gotten together I think on Wednesdays they do it, and they pick out songs, they rehearse, they record. Michael has helped with the recording and getting that converted to being able to be in our Zoom programs and our PowerPoints. What a commitment, you know, and Jerry and Gary don't get paid for that. And our music team before would gather to create music, and they don't get paid for that. So I am grateful for their dedication, their talent, and their willingness to hang in there and make all this happen for us. I'm grateful for Anne, who every single Sunday shows up to be the angel of ceremonies, a title we created, and has hung in there through all of this. Our board, you know, Jeff and our whole board, who has continued to do the work to make our church, to enable our church to shift from being in our building to being online and reaching so many more people and doing it well. and for Jeff and Neely and Sam who do the Wednesday night word, you know, for Michael for his expertise in technology and all the things he does to keep us going. You know, we have a lot of people who work behind the scenes to make this possible. It's not just me. And I am so grateful. And most of them do it for just out of love. I am grateful for all of you. And I'm grateful for all of you who continue to support this church through your prayers and through your financial support. Yeah, I understand it is so hard to feel a sense of community necessarily and that connection. But let me tell you, I know what you do and I am grateful for it. And let me share with you one of the things that I am grateful for that you all have made possible through your support. We are reaching people in ways we have never done so before. I'm going to throw a few stats at you. And just to give you an idea of how many more people, remember before COVID, we were what, 25 people, 30 on a Sunday, you know, and maybe a few people electronically. Let me show you and share with you what has happened. For July and August, July through August, we had 565 people watch our Sunday service in Joplin. Miami, Oklahoma, 140. And this is including my watch parties. I don't know how many people are watching your watch parties, so it's even more than that. Carthage, Missouri, 104. Get this one. I don't know. I don't understand this one. Colorado Springs, 94. I don't know. Well, I know a few people in Colorado, but not that well. So if you're watching us today, Colorado Springs, hi, we're so glad you are here. Albuquerque, New Mexico, of course, I have a connection there, 62. Webb City, 49. Neosho, 34. Pittsburgh, 27. Springfield, Missouri, 28. And Kansas City, 46. That's just amazing to me. And we're reaching, that's just the top 10. We're reaching people in other places too. Honolulu, Anchorage, Alaska. I saw somebody from Seoul, South Korea not too long ago watching us. That's what your support allows. So I am so grateful for that. And let me tell you a little secret I found out. At Unity Worldwide Ministries, when they talk about churches that are doing things right through this experience of COVID, we're one of the names they mention. Way to go, team. Way to go, guys. I am so grateful for that. Not because it makes us look good. Well, maybe a little bit because of that. I'm human. But because we are spreading Unity's message in a way we have never done it before. And I am grateful to be able to do that and that you are part of making that possible. So thank you for your tithes, for your love offerings. Thank you, because you are the ones making that happen. And I am grateful. So let me, while I continue our lesson, let me invite you, put in the chat, put on your Facebook chats if you're in a watch party or something you are grateful for. One thing that you are grateful for in your life as I continue our talk. So shifting gears here, spiritually speaking, fall represents the harvest time of year. We are harvesting all of this. It's time to acknowledge growth and expansion as a part of the natural evolution of being, because that's really what it's about. It's about growth and expansion in the outer from us, but it's about our own personal growth and expansion as well. Our lives, go through many cycles. We go through cycles of planting seeds spiritually, of nurturing those seeds, of studying, of praying, of meditating, and of harvesting the rewards from all of that work. We see, as people, we see that we go through cycles where we reap, we harvest, and then cycles where things die off. Where just as the trees appear to die, just as annual plants die, just as life goes through that cycle of letting go, trees shed their leaves, plants wither and return to their roots. It's important to remember that this is the time of year when we let go of the outer work to work within. Trees shed the outer leaves, which convert the sunlight to sustenance. We shed our outer efforts to turn within, to do our own spiritual work in the depths of our souls. It's the time when we begin to set up the internal space for our winter experience, to make room for what will come. It is the time to create empty spaces and to take time in silence to take hold of that inner growth, that inner work, to clear out space, to go into dormancy. As trees and animals rest in the cold and darkness of winter, we go into kind of a spiritual hibernation as well. A hibernation that is not of doing, but of being quiet, of listening to what is waiting to emerge from the silence. It is a time to compost our old ideas that have served us well in the past, but are no longer needed, that no longer serve us in the same way. It's that time that Jesus spoke of getting the new wineskins ready for new wine. We don't put them into old wineskins. It is a time to use the energy of our old ideas to make new and fertile soil for new visions and new creations. So when the cold and freezing sets in, it's actually preparing the soil in nature to receive nutrients. When the soil freezes in nature in the northern hemisphere, what happens? Those little ice particles break it apart. They separate it. They make space for the decomposition that occurs over the winter, to soak into the roots, to nourish the trees. So the significance of the equinox, the fall equinox for the person walking a spiritual path, is a time when we actually activate the cycles of growth. In going into silence and rest, we are allowing space for new vision and new experiences. In nature, the days get shorter and the nights get longer, and we descend into a time of deeper introspection, deeper going into the darkness of our soul. Not the darkness that is negative. We have this weird connotation of what darkness means in the West. To the ancient people, darkness meant going into the unknown, going into that which is hidden, going into the depths of our soul where the real work is done. Oftentimes, darkness represents going into the ego and the subconscious to prepare for a birth of light, which is celebrated at the winter solstice. So the heart of spiritual practice is both an outer work, a spring and summer work, and it's an inner work, a fall and winter work. And it's there in the invisible that is unnoticed by others, where there is no longer the old way of doing things, that we find our true inspiration, that we find the seeds that are planted for the spring. So it's essential that we have a solid sense of ourself through our inner knowing as we prepare for this time, knowing that it is right that this time comes, that the fall and winter are important, that they are necessary because they are where we do our inner work. Sometimes it's difficult to find our path, especially in these times. We're learning to explore right now. We're learning to explore the idea of opening up to new ways of doing things, to finding new ways of connection, to finding new ways of growth, to finding new doors that we can open for unimaginable possibility. Our life purpose is to use our personal transformation to transform society. Have you ever thought about that? You know, we all hopefully have a point in our lives, usually when we're younger, where we say, well, I want to change the world. And sometimes we kind of lose that as we age. But the fact is, we do change the world, for better or for worse. We do change the world just by living our lives. But ultimately, I'm going to say that statement again. Our life purpose is to use our own personal transformation to transform society. You know, that's the great lesson that most people are missing in this lesson of the fall, that our purpose is to transform our lives so that we may transform society or the world. You know, I know we listen to the news, and that determines our thinking often, more so than we realize. And it's important to know that different news outlets have different messages. But the thing to remember is they are all someone else's message, whether it be liberal or conservative, whether it be progressive or static, they are all someone else's message. What is our message? What is our message? What is our news for the world? I was reading recently a little bit of Margaret Ponders, who wrote the book, The Laws of Love, and she said this: the condition of the outer world is always the perfect outpicturing of the inner world. If we do not like the picture we see, we can change it by going within and putting our thoughts and feelings in order. That's what autumn is all about. Preparing, putting our thoughts and feelings in order. To our ancestors, autumn looked scary. And to us right now, in this uncertain future and uncertain times, it can look scary. But that is only when we see with our ego eyes. Because the ego says everything should stay the same. There is stuff to be afraid of. Let's go back to the good old days. Let's go back to the spring and the summer when the living was easy. Well, if we really think about it, the good old days had their problems too. And things were not always better in the summer. If we're really honest with ourselves, things are never better than they are right now. You know, the great fallacy of that idea of going back to when times were good is, as the poet laureate James Dillett Freeman said, it negates change. It negates growth. To live is to change. Nothing living can stand still. A tree must shed its leaves in the fall and rest in the winter. But it only does that so that it may gather its strength to grow again in the spring. I think one of the reasons change is scary to so many people is because the idea of change means loss. But is it loss really? Eric Butterworth, one of the most wisest unity ministers that ever lived, wrote this: on the human level of appearance, it seems that changes lead to loss or injustice. But beyond the appearance is a level of experience where God's law of adjustment is always active, turning losses into gains, revealing the truth that even if it was intended for evil, God intends it for good. Look at nature. Trees lose their leaves. They fall to the ground, they die, they decompose. And to ancient people who maybe were migrating from places that had pine forests to deciduous forests, that probably looked very scary. But what happens? That loss that dies and decomposes becomes the nutrients that feeds new growth and greater expansion. Stella Mann wrote this in her book, Love. The great changes from the past have all come about through the effort of love as work. Individuals who cared enough to wash feet and feed sheep on the level they selected to serve. Individuals who cared enough to want to see everyone prosper and thrive. We grow through a cycle of preparing and giving, through a cycle of taking in and giving forth, through a cycle of receiving and being of service, of knowing who we are in the physical and who we are as spiritual beings. Charles Fillmore, in his book Prosperity, and if you want to look this up on page 16, wrote this: before there is any fundamental change or economic change, men must begin to understand their relationship to God and to one another as common heirs to the universal resource that is sufficient for all. They must give up some of their erroneous ideas about their rights. They must learn that they cannot lock up or possess that which does not belong to God. And everything belongs to God because everything is God. It's a big challenge that we have in our Western world. We're very materialistic. We're very much about possession, about keeping what is ours, because maybe if we gave up some of ours, we would lose everything. That's our Western mindset. And we have that mindset, I think, because we believe that resources are finite, because we only see resources as physical manifestations of things that are right in front of our eyes, things we can touch: gold, silver, fuel, money, stocks, whatever. But the only resources we have, the only true resources that we have, are found in the deep soil of God's realm. Thus, fall is about going within and finding those resources, the true resources, the ones that really matter. Just as the roots of a tree go deep into the earth to find nutrients, and roots grow during the winter. That's when they do their work, getting ready, preparing for that time of light and growth and expansion. It is from the depths that the trees gain their nourishment. It is from the depths that we gain our spiritual nourishment. It is from going deep within ourselves, letting go of the outer things we think we need, just as trees let go of their leaves, that we can find what is already ours, and that we find that what is already ours is infinite and unlimited in every way. So the equinox is about coming into balance with Mother Earth and Mother Nature. It is about being one with creation and understanding the lessons that nature has for us. We've done the work of summer, and now it is time to do the work of autumn, so that we may be ready to do the work of winter, to plumb the depths of the darkness, and to find the treasure there that we are to bring into the light of the spring. The greatest teacher we have is Mother Nature herself. So as we honor her and we respect her and we care for her, we realize that the cycles of life show us the way. Happy fall.
Thank you. Thank you, Gordon. We appreciate that. And thank you, Novella, for our covenant and that music. Guys, you did an amazing job with that. So we are grateful, definitely. And we like to show our gratitude by sharing our tithes and love offerings. I'll invite you to take those into your hands symbolically, because you can give electronically, safely and securely by going to the Unity of Joplin website, unityofjoplin.org, clicking on that donate button right there on the right-hand side and selecting General Fund to share your gifts safely and securely. And of course, if you want to mail it, we love your checks too. Here is our post office box. And if you receive spiritual nourishment from these weekly lessons, or even just from today, please consider that tithing practice and share your good with us, because we tithe we share it with the community. So let's bless these gifts together. In a universe overflowing with the allness of God, all of the needs of the unity of Joplin and those we serve are bountifully met. From every direction, known and unknown, expected and unexpected, our abundant good is here now. And we say, thank you, God, because we know that these tithes and offerings are dedicated to the will and work of Spirit through unity of Joplin and for the highest good of all. Amen. Amen. So if you have just found us for the first time, maybe you're coming back for the second or third, we're so grateful that you're here and that you landed on the Unity of Joplin page or a watch party. I have some friends that have joined from Missouri, Colorado, Illinois, my cousin in Pennsylvania. Good morning, guys. Thank you all for being here. I know we have some Facebook viewers that have hopped on. We're just grateful. So we hope you'll come back and check us out. If you have any questions about Unity, put them in the chat. Jeff, our Board of Trustees president, is there to support you. Hang out with us after the service. Gordon is available to answer any questions. But right now we like to bless the children because they are our future, right? We know that. We also honor the inner child as well. So join me, please. Children, you are a perfect child of God, and God and I love you just the way you are. It's true. All right, that concludes our service for today. Let's join in our peace song and then our prayer of protection. And we wish you a good week. And remember, next Sunday, the service is at 4 p.m., followed by our annual meeting. So we'll see you a little bit later in the day next Sunday.
And let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, we are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Go out and know that this week, folks. Have a great week. Thanks, Gordon.
You are welcome. Thank you all. We had quite a good crowd today.
Good, good.
Let's say hi to everybody on Facebook.
Yeah. Elizabeth joined me on my watch party.
Did she? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you our Colorado connection?
No, Elizabeth Specht.
No, I said, are you our Colorado connection?
Oh, am I? I just have one friend that I know of that's there watching. So
I am astounded where some of the people watch this from.
I know.
It's awesome. It's so much fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of people from New Mexico and all over.
Good. Good. Well, I'm doing more yard work today to get ready for next week. So I'm excited to see everybody.
Gordon, how did word spread? How did you get this out to so many folks in Korea? And
Word of mouth, I guess. You know, that's the miracle of modern technology. People, well, you know, the hashtags may have something to do with it too. Somebody could have put in the Unity hashtag and it popped over to us and they became aware of us. And there's, who knows, you know, we don't have ways of tracking that.
The first week we did this, I sent it out to 500 friends.
Oh, way to go, Candy! Yay! You rock!
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still coming, but at least I tried to get it started.
Yeah, we don't know who a lot of these people are by name, but yeah, I'm sure a lot of them are. I'm sure you had a big part of that. Well, I know a couple for sure that you did.
Hey, Gordon, in reference to your sermon, I think I've gone through enough dark nights now in my lifetime that I should be getting a pass on this winter.
Oh, if only that were true.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, at least I know how to get through. I mean, I have some idea of what might be on the other end and how to navigate when I'm there.
Yeah, you know, it does get, I think, easier as we get older. You know, we survived everything else.
Well, I don't know about easier, but more familiar.
Yeah.
I guess that ease, that there's a sense of ease.
Yeah, we don't like it, but we know how to get through it.
Yeah.
Or we may not know how, but we know we will.
And it's about the greater good. So,
yeah,
you know, endure.
Yep. Yep, persevere.
Rain ain't for wimps.
Hey, Jim, are you guys going to be able to come next week?
Not planning on it, Marilyn. We're still not comfortable. Well, I need to talk with Belinda about it, actually.
Yeah.
I agree. So,
yeah, we understand people, you know, aren't comfortable doing that yet.
I mean, I know
it's a little, you know, yeah, I understand completely. It's like, we'll see how this goes.
I'd love to do that. You know, when you said it's going to be in my house or my backyard, oh man, I said I wish I could be there.
Well, you'll still be with us on Zoom.
We will be. It will be on. You know, this. We'll still. In fact, we're going to meet Wednesday to make sure we know how to work all of our new equipment.
Oh, good. You
know, Jim, maybe we could carpool too.
Well, Lou, that's something I'm just not ready for.
Yeah. You know, guys, I was looking the other day with all of the people from Pittsburgh who watch us. When this is over and we start, it's safe to gather in person again, I'm all for starting something in Pittsburgh.
Hey.
An outreach there.
Lou needs to train as a minister.
Yeah. Yeah, there's ways we can do that. We can make that happen. Southeast Kansas needs unity.
Yes.
Well,
I wanted to say, Gordon, this morning I needed to go downtown and I was startled. I kind of lost contact with Les's Methodist Church and they were having it at the park. And I want to invite you guys, you know, to Chief Sarcoxy Days next year. It was wonderful to sit and we were all social distancing, but to listen to live music. And we have Sherry Perry from Arkansas, who always comes and sings wonderful gospel music from when we were children. It's kind of fun to listen to old time rather than current gospel music sometimes. But anyway, So everybody was in their cars around the Sarcoxy Square.
Really? They were in their cars?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and the pastor was standing up in front of the gazebo, you know, and giving the message. And he decided to do it 10 o'clock instead of 11. And, you know, and then after it was over, everybody got out and stood 6 feet apart and talked and said hello and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's what one church is doing in Sarcoxy.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if this works well this coming Sunday, we may do more outdoors services. I'm affirming it's going to, you know, that it's going to work.
Yeah, why
This will
not?
be our test.
Well, if we can all find parking, it should be wonderful.
Yeah, or a place where we can even be, you know, sitting in chairs or something, but far apart. That's the one thing. Ann's got a big lot there, so. And it's got bamboo at one end, so I'm going to make it dramatic. I'm going to emerge from the bamboo like Moses.
You keep saying that.
Did they have bamboo in Egypt?
They have rushes. They have similar type plants.
Oh,
Probably
yeah.
not bamboo.
Those bulrushes.
Hi, Mike.
You could put one of those bullheads on your head and the
Borrow Gary and Jerry's fairy costume.
There you go.
It was so wonderful, Israel and the Muslim countries having Go for Peace this week.
Are they? Good. Yeah.
You mean the two that signed the peace accords?
The 2 additional ones, that's 4 now, 4 of the Middle East.
Yay.
People. And so now they have air flights direct from Tel Aviv and things. And so
It's a start.
year
I'm going to affirm it holds.
yes.
Yeah.
I think it will, because they want their lives back.
Yeah.
You know, they want the interaction with the rest of the world. And if we had waited until the Palestinians were in on it, it might never have happened. So I'm glad it's going the way it is.
Yeah.
More the merrier.
And
All right.
if you need help in your yard, I'm a good yard worker. Just come.
Oh, bless your heart. I appreciate that.
I'd rather work
Yeah.
outside than inside any day.
Really?
Yeah, especially in this weather.
It's not my zone of genius, but Carl has got the clippers and I'm letting him go for it. So
Yeah.
I think we'll be okay.
Okay.
But thanks.
Sure.
Michael's going to be spraying, but bring bug spray too.
Yeah, yeah. Sandy, if you wouldn't mind, because it is private, if you could put your number in the Zoom chat here, I will take it down because I may give you a buzz. Do you
I won't
know
know
how to do that?
I won't know how to do that. You can get it from Gordon or Novella.
I'll get it to you,
Okay.
Ann.
Okay,
Yeah,
that works.
she does great sewing work too.
Ah, oh, that's right. Yes, the cushions. Yeah.
Yes. Nice.
I was impressed.
Great. Thank you.
Sure. See you all.
Bye, Sandy.
Bye, Sandy.
Meet you Sunday.
Yep, in the grass. Sunday in the
Yeah.
grass. That'll be fun.
Well, it's good to see all the messages of gratitude from everyone.
Yeah.
Jim is
Good, Michael.